SKT1 up 1-0 on Hite Entus, and Hite and Entus are two different teams that joined together actually for the 10-11 season. And we'll see how this goes. Bisu coming off a win previously. I don't know how he's been doing since then, but he did win against KT. I don't remember who he played. I actually cast that game, but it was a little bit laggy, or for some odd reason it didn't record, so I didn't post it up. Bisu doing a Forge Fast Expand, kind of standard for a PVZ. And this is going to be on Icarus, by the way. So, don't know how those map stats compare, but we'll see how it goes here. A little bit of a different setup for the Pro League, as you can see from the earlier games. You have the count timer at the left, and at the top a little bit of a new setup up there. Probe Scout coming in to scout out Hogil, see exactly what he's doing. Looks like he put a pool down, possibly an overpool or a I think it was an overpool. Probe doing a little bit of harassment there. Bisu is just amazing at using his probes, keeping them alive for long periods of time. And it looks like that drone scout is going to go scout Bisu's base, or possibly try to put down an expansion. Don't know exactly what's going on here. That probe doesn't know either. Probe's going to probably follow that drone. Forge going out. And Bisu needs to probably put 2 cannons down now that he sees that that spawning pool is out. He probably went for an overpool or 9 or 10 pool, something like that. Maybe 10 with the extractor chick. But regardless, he does see that there's no zerglings out, so maybe not gonna have to put down 2 cannons, maybe just 1. Doesn't know exactly what's in those eggs, but once he does find out, he's definitely gonna be able to know there is a small base distance, so he needs to be really careful here, especially if those are zerglings popping out. He sees the zerglings popping out, probably gonna place down at least 2 cannons, and that's exactly what he does. Puts those 2 cannons down. The zerglings are gonna force the probe out of the base. Hogil at the same time is expanding at a sort of hidden expansion near the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock position. There are a ton of zerglings out, and double expanding, which is pretty standard for zerg these days, double expanding onto his natural, finally placing down that nexus. But at the same time, Bisu has not scouted that 5 o'clock base, so he could think there was a single expansion extractor going down for Hogil. Hogil is still chasing that probe, and that's what I'm talking about. Bisu is just so good at keeping his probes alive, doing a really good job of micromanaging his probe right now, and also managing the base as well. Looks like more drones being built by Hogil, and those hatcheries are still up and running. Pylon being placed at the main, as well as a assimilator. Looks like a gateway in the normal position right in front of that forge, or right in front of those cannons rather, right next to that forge. That nexus is still going up, not quite up yet. Bisu's probably gonna be transferring his probes at any minute, and his probe is still alive, still not dying or anything. Layer tech has not been yet researched by Hogil, so he's probably going to do some economy rather than go for that tech early on. Cybernetics core going down for Bisu, and maybe we might see the Bisu build here. He hasn't done it in quite some time. He usually goes Zerg though. That's kind of standard for protoss, but once he does, finally getting his lair is Hogil. He is still chasing that probe around. But otherwise, other than that, pretty standard game from both players. Assimilator going down at the natural for Bisu, so pretty even economy wise. That Overlord's still scouting everything that's going in, and those zerglings, man, they're just getting owned by this probe here. Really good probe micro. Bisu's always had good probe micro. I don't think that Hogil is really committing to killing that probe though as well, so that could be part of it. Zealot coming out from Bisu's base. That layer is not yet up, but he does have those bottom 2 bases up and running now. Not quite saturated, but at the same time he is getting... I don't know what he's going to go, to be completely honest. It's kind of up in the air right now. Probably could go Mass Hydra, 3-hatch Hydra, 3-hatch Muta. Really, it's just up in the air. Depends how much gas he gets, I guess. and he doesn't have a gas at his other extractor. Oh, surprisingly, he is going to go for 3-hatch Muta here. Doesn't have a gas at his natural, and I'm assuming he doesn't have one at his 5 o'clock base, but then again, I could be wrong. 2 Zealots coming out here. Gonna see that Zergling. Zergling's going to go past them, and oh man, knocking down the other person's sign. That's not very nice. Jeez, what's going on there? Stargate out now, as well as the Citadel of Adun, probably for speed leagues. Maybe for DTs, though, might be going Sarah DT. That is a good possibility against PVZ. A 4th hatchery is building at that kind of natural position, and I don't know if I like exactly where he put that. It's kind of right there out in the open. I think he should have put it a little more towards his ramp so he could have connected his creep a little bit easier. But regardless, connecting your creep is not as important, not nearly as important as it is in StarCraft 2. I don't think that creep gives you a speed upgrade in StarCraft 1, so not entirely sure. He is going for a Spire and a Hydralisk Den, so maybe going to go some Muta, make Bisu think that he's going for some air units here, and then switch over to Hydra. Or he possibly, you know what, actually, scratch that. He's probably just going to get the Spire for Scourge to kill off these Sare and go mass Hydra is what he's probably going to do. Bisu content to stay by his base though. This Sare is probably going to pick off this Overlord, especially if those Scourge don't pop out anytime soon. This Overlord is definitely going to go down. Don't know what's building in those eggs though. Could be Mutas or Scourge. I'm assuming they're going to be Scourge though, especially because he put down that Hydralisk Den. Scourge coming out and not exactly. Oh, and the Corsairs does not. Wow, that's not good for Bisu, and he is visually disappointed for once. I mean, usually he has a straight face, but you could tell that he made a little bit of a slip up there. Probably should have at least picked off that Overlord, but instead didn't pick off that Overlord, nor did he save his Corsairs, so that's pretty bad. Evo Chamber up for Hogil now. And Bisu is going to be able to pick off this Overlord, but at the cost of an entire Corsair. That's not a good trade-off for, 100 minerals. And I don't exactly know how much Corsairs, but I know they're over 100 minerals and at least 50 gas. So not a very good trade-off there. Zerglings and Zealots doing a little bit of dance at the front. But I guess that is kind of a good position because then he has that choke point at the bottom there for his units, so he doesn't get over swarmed, I guess. And there's a ton of probes in Bisu's main. He's probably going to expand anytime soon is what I'm assuming, but he has a ton of saturation here. Looks like the Zealots are moving out. Zergling's also moving to the north as well, maybe going to go for that expansion, but they're going to be blocked off because there is that cannon there and a bunch of speed lots going in for an attack. Nope, they're going to be pulling back, and no, they're going to go back in, and they're going to go right around. No, they're going to be pulled back again. So Bisu not quite sure exactly what he wants to do at this moment. Other than that, though, Creep Colony looks like it's going up, possibly to build another Sunken or a Spore, probably a Sunken though. I mean, these Corsairs aren't doing a whole lot, especially with the Scourge in the air. And Hogil is doing a good job of defense, and he's been able to keep all 3 of his bases up and running, so bravo to him on that. These Scourge are just going to be able to scout all around here. One Scourge, both Scourge getting picked off by that cannon, though, a little bit careless. Scourge are pretty gas expensive relatively to, how much, especially if you don't get kills on them. So a little bit careless there. Looks like Bisu is looking at the top right for expansion. Does not see when this Corsair might get picked off, and I think he'll be able to get away. Nice job, able to kill both of those Scourge. So 4 Scourge for nothing. That's not a good trade-off for Hogil there. He is building another Evo Chamber to get his upgrades going on. High Templar now in play, Dark Templar in play as well, and looks like an attack going up at the front, but Bisu's gonna pull back, especially because he sees those lurkers. Don't even know if he has observers. I don't think he does. This could be really bad for him. Dark Templar, he does reveal that he has Dark Templar and High Templar. No obs, but he is able to storm that lurker. A very nice storm there. And that lurker, though, is going to be able to deter the forces at least for a little while until he gets his obs up. But yeah, he sees that lurker is going to definitely have to pull back. Ooh, and that High Templar almost gets picked off. Not quite, though. Hogil backs off of that. Don't know why they just clicked on the Cybernetics core. Exactly. He does have a robo facility, so I'm assuming he's getting observers anytime soon now. There's Hogil concentrating very hard on his on his macro and micro there. Bisu looking like Bisu again. You know, the expressionless face there. And a big engagement coming up in the middle. Good storm there. Able to deter Hogil's forces. Hogil moving more of his Hydras into lurkers, and Bisu's going to have to retreat a little bit here. He's going up the ramp. He does have more Dragoons, finally building some Dragoons. Don't know if he has range. Maybe that's why they clicked on the Cybernetics core to tell the viewers that he was upgrading range for his Dragoons. Not entirely sure. Hive Tech going up now. And Zerglings coming in, getting picked off, not getting any hits off on these Zealots here. And I don't know who's ahead, really, to be completely honest. It looks like Bisu has a lot of map control, but at the same time, he only has 2 bases. He is expanding at the top right for his third. Don't know if there's an observer. There is not an observer in the play. Oh my gosh, these Dragoons get surrounded, and they are all gonna, well, not all, well, I guess all, but made it sound a lot worse than it was. But 2 Dragoons getting surrounded, not very good there. Good storm on those Zerglings. Another good storm, storming his own Dragoons, though. Not a good storm there either, and he really needs an there's the observer, but the Overlord is right there as well, and hopefully that observer doesn't get picked off, because that's going to be really bad. Bisu's transferring his probes to the top right base. Going to have to do some good defense here. The Dragoons are able to deter away the Zerglings. The Zerglings are going to have to back up, and maybe a pincer attack coming from Hogil here. He is morphing more units into lurkers, and his hive is not yet up. He's going to definitely be building some swarm, I'm assuming. Probably not Ultralisks just yet, because he probably wants to get on another base before he goes for Ultras. But he could, and these Zerglings are going to have to retreat. Excuse me. Yeah, these Zerglings are going to have to retreat. Scourge coming in to pick off any observers. The observers running away, and good storms are killing a lot of Zerglings there. More Zerglings coming in. Another good storm, and storm is a lot more powerful in Starcraft 1 than it was in Starcraft 2, and I kind of think it needs to be upgraded in Starcraft 2. Maybe. Who knows? People might disagree with me on that. It looks like a base is going up, hatchery going up at the 6 o'clock position there. The Zealots are going to be able to take it out, especially if no reinforcements come in, and yeah, Hogil's forced to cancel that hatchery. And Hogil's in kind of a hard position here. He has at 3 bases to 3 bases. However, when the protoss is at 3 bases and the zerg is at 3 bases, the zerg is behind, unfortunately. And so that's how things are going for him. Those zerglings, I don't know why that zergling is running. Those zealots are running away from that zergling. 1 zealot and 1 zergling. It's not an even matchup, and it would be really terrible if it was. But it looks like another attack's coming in here. The zerglings come in. A good storms there, storming a little bit of his own units, but killing a ton of zerglings. Archon's doing a ton of damage there. Gonna be able to possibly pick off that overlord, but he looks like he retreats. Another base going at the bottom left. I don't think Bisu has scouted this yet. Another good storm. Well, I guess that was an okay storm. Good storm on that lurker, though. Needs to use observers to pick off these lurkers, though. More zealots coming in, and archons coming in as well. These zealots and archons are fighting on 2 fronts here. He's going to pick the bottom area to go in. He needs to kill off these scourge before they pick off the observer, and is able to do so. But these observers probably should split him up, although I know Bisu has the APM to do so. And it looks like that Hogil is in a little bit of a hard position. Zerglings coming in to attack the Dragoons, and these lurkers are getting killed off by the zealots, and the Defiler is going to get picked off as well. That's really bad for him. Lurker burrowing, but he's going to... I don't think he sees the lurker. He doesn't see the lurker. He doesn't have... an observer anymore. They might have got picked off or something like that, something of that nature. But he's gonna have to retreat because he's not able to see that the Templar gets picked off. He is making an Archon there. Shuttle coming in as well. Don't exactly know what the shuttle's for. Maybe going to go for a storm drop. That's probably what he's gonna do. Going to go to storm drop in the main, and this is gonna be devastating. Hogil moves his drones, and this Templar might get killed. Oh, and what the heck is he doing? Did he kill all those drones? I don't know exactly what happened there, but I know he just stormed his own shuttle. But he is going to move in at the front. He might have killed all those drones, so maybe good play, possibly. I'm not entirely sure. Archon's moving in, and this is probably going to be game, guys, because Bisu is just merging Archons left and right, coming in at Hogil's front. There's nothing that Hogil can do. More units streaming in here. He doesn't have another base up and running yet. These zealots are just tearing through these zerglings, and his hatchery is going to go down, as well as this sunken zergling are the only thing that are standing between him and victory. Bisu knows that he's winning. He's got that Bisu pimp look on his face. Those drones are going to have to transfer up to the main, and this hatchery is going to go down. The Hydralisk is going to go down. More forces streaming in. more reinforcements. Now he is way oversaturated. As Nidus Canal just formed me in there. The Defiler Mount's probably going to go down too. Bisu's expanding at the top left. The other hatchery is going to go down. More Archons coming in and more units streaming in. I think he's going to go to that bottom left base, and GG coming from Hogil. So Bisu, nice job, man. Playing like the old self. So SKT1 is up 2-0 on Hite Entus. GG, guys. See you guys next game.